What if the history books only have it half right? What if buried beneath the rolling hills and quiet towns of Missouri, there are secrets so old and so strange they challenge everything we think we know? We're talking about a legendary city of giants, ghostly lights that have baffled scientists for a century, and a real-life metropolis that vanished into thin air. These are the mysteries that time forgot, and that science is still struggling to explain. The American heartland is a place of sweeping plains and quiet dignity, a landscape that feels both familiar and timeless. But right here, in Missouri, the soil holds stories that just don't add up. For centuries, whispers of impossible discoveries, vanished civilizations, and spectral phenomena have echoed through its forests and valleys. And these aren't just spooky campfire stories. They're enduring enigmas, written up in newspapers, studied by investigators, and seen by thousands, yet they remain just beyond our understanding. Today, we're digging into 3 of Missouri's most profound puzzles, mysteries of earth, legend, and light that force us to ask what else might be out there. The lost city of Moberly. Our first mystery isn't so much an unsolved case as it is one of the greatest tall tales ever told in Missouri. It all started with a mind-blowing headline in April of 1885 that shot out of the small town of Moberly and was picked up by papers across the country, even the New York Times. Miners, they said, while sinking a coal shaft, had broken through into an impossible subterranean city 360 feet below the surface. The details were stunning. The miners described a massive cavern with a stone city, complete with perfectly laid out streets and skilled masonry. They claimed to have found a grand hall lined with stone benches and scattered tools from an advanced civilization, granite hammers, metallic saws, and bronze-like statues. There was even a stone fountain still flowing with pure water. But the most sensational part of the story, the detail that defied all known history, was the discovery of fossilized bones belonging to a human of impossible size. The femur alone was reportedly 4.5 feet long, suggesting a person 3 times the size of anyone today. The city was said to be under a 300-million-year-old coal seam, which would make it a discovery that didn't just rewrite history, but tore the whole book to shreds. So, where is this underground wonder today? Why isn't it a world-famous archaeological site? Well, because it never existed. There isn't a single tool, statue, or giant bone to show for it. Almost as quickly as the story spread, retractions started rolling in, labeling the fantastic tale an elaborate hoax. In fact, the editor of the Moberly newspaper sent a telegram to other outlets stating plainly, "The story is an April hoax, not a word of truth in it." The mine owner, Tim Collins, was so swamped by tourists that he had to post a sign telling lunatics to stay away. Science and history agree. The Moberly city was pure fiction, a classic piece of 19th century sensationalism when tall tales sold papers. And yet, the legend lives on. Was it a harmless joke that got out of hand? Or, as a few still wonder, a discovery so shocking it was deliberately covered up? While all credible evidence points to a fabrication, the legend of the lost city of giants beneath Moberly endures, a testament to our love for a good story. Cahokia, the vanished metropolis. While Moberly's city was fiction, our next mystery is very, very real. Just across the Mississippi River from modern-day St. Louis lie the silent, sprawling ruins of a once mighty metropolis, Cahokia. Between about 1050 and 1200 AD, Cahokia was the largest and most advanced prehistoric city north of Mexico. At its peak, it was bigger than London at the time, with an estimated population as high as 40,000 people in the surrounding area. This was a civilization with a complex social structure, a thriving culture, and a deep understanding of engineering and astronomy. the city was dominated by 120 man-made earthen mounds. The largest, Monk's Mound, is the most massive prehistoric earthwork in the Americas, rising 100 feet into the sky. This was the political and religious heart of the city. Archaeologists have found evidence of copper workshops and massive timber circles, nicknamed wood henges, that acted as precise solar calendars. Cahokia was a monumental achievement. But here's the real mystery. After centuries of growth, its decline began in the 1200s, and by 1350 or 1400, the city was all but abandoned. What could make an entire civilization just walk away? For decades, scientists have debated it. Theories included warfare, political collapse, and environmental disaster. Some researchers believed the Cahokians deforested the area, leading to erosion and flooding that ruined their crops. Others pointed to evidence of a major regional drought, but the mystery has only gotten deeper. Recent studies have challenged those ideas. In 2021, analysis of sediment cores showed no evidence of the widespread erosion the deforestation theory would require. And in a study published in July 2024, researchers analyzing carbon isotopes in the soil cast serious doubt on the crop failure by drought hypothesis. The evidence suggested that the Cahokians had a diverse and resilient food system that could have likely withstood a drought. With each new discovery, the simple explanations for Cahokia's fall seem to fade. We are left with the ghost of a metropolis, a great culture that built a city to rival any in the world, and then, for reasons we still can't fully explain, slowly faded away. The fate of the Cahokians remains one of North America's most profound archaeological riddles. The Hornet Spook Light. From a civilization that vanished, we turn to a mystery that appears out of the dark. On a lonely, 4-mile stretch of gravel road on the Missouri-Oklahoma border, a phenomenon has puzzled people for over a century. It's known as the Hornet Spook Light. Witness accounts go back to at least 1881, and they all describe a similar thing: a single, glowing orb that appears in the darkness. It's often described as an orange ball of fire, somewhere between the size of a baseball and a basketball. And it doesn't just sit still. People report seeing it bob and weave down the road, hover in the treetops, and then vanish as quickly as it appeared. For generations, people have parked along this road, nicknamed the Devil's Promenade, hoping to see it. And for just as long, investigators have tried to explain it. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers studied it back in 1946. The most common scientific theory is that the light is nothing more than car headlights from a distant highway, likely Route 66, whose light gets refracted by layers of air. But here's the catch. People were reporting the spook light decades before cars or highways existed there. Other theories have been floated. Could it be will-o'-the-wisp, a gas from rotting plants? Unlikely. The light is too intense and isn't affected by wind. Maybe it's piezoelectricity, where quartz crystals in the ground release light under geological stress from a fault line. It's a cool idea, but totally unproven. Local legends offer more poetic answers. One story speaks of two Quapaw lovers who, forbidden to be together, leaped into the spring river, and the light is their eternal flame. Another tells of a murdered miner, forever searching for his family with his lantern. While science has a plausible theory in car headlights, it just can't account for the historical sightings. The Hornet Spook Light remains a true anomaly, a ghostly beacon that flickers just at the edge of our understanding. So, what do we have? A fantastic hoax about a city of giants. A very real metropolis of thousands that emptied for reasons that get more complex with every new study, and a ghostly light on a country road that science can only partly explain. The mysteries of Missouri are as deep as they are fascinating. They represent the cracks in our map of the world, where history blurs into legend and science meets the unexplainable. These stories stick around, not just because they're strange, but because they tap into that basic human desire to know that there's more to the world than what we can see. They remind us that no matter how much we learn, there are still puzzles out there, waiting patiently in the heartland. What other secrets does the soil of Missouri hold? Maybe some mysteries aren't meant to be solved, but to be wondered at, forever. So, what's your take on these Missouri mysteries? Was the lost city just a joke, or something more? What do you think really happened to the people of Cahokia? And what's your best theory for the spook light? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring the unknown, make sure to like and subscribe for more journeys into the unexplained.